If you want to register to vote in this year's primary election on September 4th, the deadline's a little more than 2 weeks away. To help voters get on the rolls, there will be voter registration tomorrow and Thursday at several locations for the YMCA in Boston. To tell us about the effort is the CEO and president for the YMCA of Greater Boston, James Morton. Thank you very much for being with us again, James.
Thank you for the invitation, Chris.
First of all, I haven't heard about anything like this done by the Y, at least on this scale before, so why is this happening?
So I've been in the YMCA movement for about 12 years now, and we've never done anything on this scale at any of the Ys that I've been a part of. I'm very, very excited about this, and it's across our association. So it's in addition to the city of Boston, it's Greater Boston that we're doing this at 14 different locations. And our goal is to make registering to vote as easy as possible, as accessible as possible. And obviously, the more accessible it is, the more affordable it is. And so we want folks to come in and register to vote, 16 and up, and their staff, members, and residents that live anywhere near any of our YMCA locations.
And then just to make sure we're clear about this, this is not just for people with YMCA memberships.
That is absolutely right. This is a community voter registration drive. It's being conducted by two nonprofit organizations that we're partnering with. Mass Vote, which is an organization that uses young people as part of a civic engagement strategy to register individuals to vote. And then Sister District, which will be supporting our more suburban locations. And that is a voter registration project that makes sure that as many people in those communities get registered to vote as possible.
I know there might be some differences according to locations, but roughly what time of day is this going to be happening?
So I would encourage people to go on our website because the schedule is outlined there. That's www.ymcaboston.org. But generally speaking, most of these locations drives are taking place in the afternoons. And a couple of morning sessions and a couple of evening sessions. We wanted to make sure that folks could have access at times that were as convenient as possible for them.
Now, I imagine we should let our viewers know about some documentation that might be needed.
Yes, we encourage everyone to bring a photo ID with you, a driver's license, or some other form of positive identification, because that's going to be necessary for you to register. And by the way, we're hoping that we're going to get a lot of those 18,000 teenagers we talked about a couple of weeks ago to come and register to vote.
Now, as far as teens, I'm a little confused here. You can register when you're 16, even though you can't vote until you're 18, right?
That's correct. And our goal is to get as many 16 and 17-year-olds registered to vote, to get them in the frame of mind that they're voters and that they have a responsibility to participate in the electoral process, that democracy is a participatory sport, not a spectator sport. So our idea is to educate them around those issues, continue to talk to them about the importance of voting, but first and foremost to get them registered to vote so that when they turn 18, voting will be an expectation that they'll have of themselves.
Now, one thing we have to remind our viewers, I'm sure there are plenty of people watching who are American citizens, they have Massachusetts driver's license, and they probably don't realize that they need to register, maybe because they just moved within the last year or two.
Oh, absolutely, Chris. It's important that every last single one of us register to vote. And if we have any questions about whether we're registered, to contact the City of Boston and verify whether you are a legally registered voter or not.
I'm interested about how the Y sees it, that it benefits as well from this too. What would you say?
So I would say that the YMCA of Greater Boston is a community-based organization, and registering people to vote is a very important process in being a true community-based organization. And so we see this as part of our mission. We're creating communities at the YMCA, and part of creating communities is to encourage people to participate in democracy, and voting is obviously an essential component of that participation. And there's another piece to this too, Chris, in that, we're all standing on the shoulders of a number of Americans who made great sacrifices and lost their lives and were lynched and mistreated and abused in order to give us this important right. And it's almost a shame for us to not use it. We must all exercise our franchise and participate in democracy. And so we're standing on those important individuals' shoulders. We're talking about Martin Luther King and Senator Lewis and Medgar Evers and Cesar Chavez and Susan B. Anthony, Katie Stanton, Frederick Douglass, all of those individuals who thought that voting was really important for our country and for men and women of all colors and nationalities, and we believe that that is right. And so as we stand on their shoulders, we know that they had an expectation of us. And the expectation was that we would use the right to vote once we got it. And so shame on us if we don't.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with James Morton from the YMCA of Greater Boston. James, we want to have one more reminder. We're only about halfway through this summer, so there's still some time for young people to get some of those free memberships, right?
Absolutely. We offer, our goal is 18,000 memberships to area teenagers ages 13 to 19. And so we welcome all teenagers to our facilities and get those free memberships and participate in what it is that we have to offer. Our goal is to enrich our young people, give them safe places to go, and make sure that they get through the summer and have the best summer of their lives.
James, also about during the summer, you've got some meals, free meals for kids too, right?
Yes, we do. Our goal is to serve close to 400,000 meals this summer versus 200,000 we served last year. And based on last year's numbers, we know that 80.3% of all children who were eligible for a free lunch during the school year go without food programs during the summer. And so our goal is to start to make some inroads into that number and make sure that more children are eating during the summer months. And our goal is 400,000 meals this summer. We're very excited about it. We're totally on target to reach that goal. And so as we get closer to the end of the summer, we'll get back in touch with you and tell you how we did.
And by the way, any vendors or local businesses involved in this we should cite?
Oh, absolutely. There's our vendor and our partner in a lot of this work is City Fresh Foods, which is located in Roxbury, employing the residents of Roxbury and Dorchester. And we're so happy that we're partnering with them. They serve nutritious, wholesome, and culturally competent foods, and we couldn't ask for a better partner.
The weather forecast says we have a lot of heat coming our way over the next 10 days or so. So how much nicer is it inside the Y?
It's a lot nicer in the Y than outside of the Y. And so we've got the pools and we've got some of our facilities are air conditioned, so you get the benefit of that. We encourage our young people to join us for what we have to offer.
And finally, more information about these details, you got the website that people can check out?
Yes, go to ymcaboston.org.
Thank you very much for being with us.
It's a pleasure, Chris.
James Morton from the YMCA of Greater Boston.